What's up, everybody? It's Charles, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, and entertainment, when we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a pretty interesting show for you guys. May piss a few people off, but hey, you got to do what you got to do. That's sports. So let's get into this show here. Some of y'all may be asking, why exactly is this joker producing this show today? I'm so sick of this guy with his Lebron. Like, I can't stand it. I can't stand him. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be monitoring him every single day to make sure he's not talking about LeBron, because I got to let him know. I can't stand this guy. That's what some of these people feel about me. But I got to talk about it. So let me tell you what prompted us to produce this show today. As y'all know, LeBron has been injured for a number of games now. And we've been getting reports that it looks like as if he's finally going to be making his return. Some people are saying he's going to be returning, I believe, on Friday. Now, just yesterday on Undisputed, they were talking about how many games it would take for LeBron to be able to ultimately eclipse Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record. And Shannon Sharp was saying, I think they said some people are saying 40 games, 42 games, 46 games. But obviously, he's been out. And the longer he's out and the more games that he missed, obviously pushes that date further into the future. And given the fact that the Lakers have not been winning games this season, although Anthony Davis has started to play very, 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 very well, it seems like the number one story that's probably going to lead the way for the Lakers when LeBron returns is going to be him eclipsing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to be the number one scorer in NBA history. And first of all, before I get to my larger point, it's important that I say this to be balanced and to be fair to to LeBron James. LeBron, the fact that he's playing this long really shows you his genuine desire to play basketball at a high level. And from what I understand, I'm obviously not an NBA player, obviously, but from what I understand, it is extremely difficult to play at an elite level in the NBA for that long, especially at that age. So it speaks to his desire, and you got to clap your hands for him. Anybody, any pantheon great athlete in any sport, it may be LeBron, it may be Cristiano Ronaldo, any of these guys, you have to recognize their commitment to their sport, right? And I think that's something to be admired about LeBron. But it seems like as he gets closer to that, it looks as if the MJ comparisons are going to come up. And as a matter of fact, speaking of the time, we actually got an article here, I believe it is from fadeawayworld.net, and it's saying that ESPN is actually projecting LeBron is going to break Kareem's record against the Milwaukee Bucks. The article basically says ESPN reckons LeBron's injury and his missing games don't necessarily put him behind the chase of breaking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's all-time scoring record this season. In its recent statistical projections, the sports network said the Los Angeles Lakers superstar would break the legend's record in another 40 games, and that it would be against the Milwaukee Bucks next year in February. James trails Abdul-Jabbar by 1,077 points. The latter has been on top since 1984, the year the Ford was born. In his 20th year, the 37-year-old vaulted over Karl Malone as the NBA's second all-time leading scorer. The Utah Jazz legend has 36,928 points to his name. The projection was made based on his career scoring average at the time, writing his 27.1 PPG, meaning James would need another 40 games to break Abdul-Jabbar's record, and that might be on February 9th against the Bucks. So you heard what the article had to say there from ESPN. Let's get back to the larger point that I want to make here. It seems as if LeBron's legacy at this point is pretty much cemented. Meaning, I think the majority of the people out there that you talk to are going to say at the very least, LeBron James is a top 10 player. And then some people will say that he's a top 5. And then you have some that will say he's top 2. Then you have some that will say he's a GOAT, right? As a matter of fact, there's a channel out there that doesn't really like some of the stuff that we say about, good old Ben Simmons. And I know some people, I was reading through some of the comments, and one person was like, I can't stand that. They talk about me. Like, I can't stand that dude, man. I can't stand him. That's what one of the viewers were saying under the comments. And the guy was like, I just don't appreciate all that LeBron disrespect. To me, LeBron the GOAT, right? So there's some people out there that believe that LeBron, in fact, is the greatest player of all time. There's some people that feel that. Now, what will happen when LeBron ultimately eclipses Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to get the scoring record? I think what will happen is it will spark a new debate in terms of the Michael Jordan, LeBron James comparisons. There's going to be a wave of people that are going to come out here and try to have this debate all over again. And I think that a lot of people are going to say that should put him close to Jordan. As a matter of fact, you heard Shaquille O'Neal, if I'm not mistaken, say that there's nothing you're going to be able to tell LeBron once he passes Kareem. And to that I say, well, if that's true, I think most of us would agree that Michael Jordan is the greatest. And I don't think that I never really heard anybody say there's nothing that we can tell, Kareem, because Kareem has a record. But I never heard that being used against Jordan. But now all of a sudden is going to be a case. To me, I think if LeBron passes Kareem, I think definitely is going to be a longevity accomplishment, an incredible one at that, to be able to be playing, that long. But I don't really think that that's how most NBA fans are going to view this debate or these comparisons. I think most NBA fans are going to be looking at these players at their zenith, right? When they were, entering their prime, in their prime, and what they were able to accomplish, when they were at their best. And when you look at them through that prism, then I think it becomes fairly obvious that Jordan will still hold the title as the greatest player of all time. Because when you look at Jordan in his peak and you compare it to that of LeBron in his peak, it's not really a debate. To be honest with you, this is not hate. It's just the truth, right? It's just as they say, the truth will set you free. And the truth is that Jordan is unparalleled. There's no NBA player ever that I can say is better than him. And I'm a Kobe Bryant fan. As much as I love Kobe, I can't say it. As good as I think Kobe was, and I thought he was better, and I think he's better than LeBron. For me to think then that another guy that I thought Kobe was better than is somehow better than Jordan is I can't even conceive it, right? When you look at Jordan's just career and the way that he did things, is just absolutely remarkable. In fact, I think from the very moment that Jordan got an All-Star, he never lost 2 games in a row. When you talk about domination, there's no greater example of that. Jordan truly dominated the sport in every aspect. Michael Jordan is also, I think by most estimations, the best two-way player in the history of basketball. I don't really think that's up for discussion. To be honest with you, he's the only player in the history of the sport that has 10 scoring titles. But then that same player also has 9 all-first defensive teams and also has a defensive player of the year. There's no player that has ever played basketball that has that type of resume. When you're talking about an argument of who was the most complete basketball player to ever play the game, when you're looking at complete, I don't think anyone comes close to that. Jordan has made 9 all-first defense. Yes. So basically, for about a 10-year period, he was the best two-way player in the world. Then you also factor in the fact that he was able to three-peat 2 times. That's incredibly difficult. You also factor in the fact he has the highest scoring average in regular season history in the NBA. You also factor in he has the highest scoring average in the playoffs, even higher than Wilt Chamberlain. Then you also factor in his cultural impact. You factor in the fear factor. You factor in the beauty of his basketball game. You factor all of these things into it, and you just come away with the conclusion that this guy is absolutely the best ever. And I don't think that LeBron getting that record will have any kind of thing. I don't think it's an indictment or another plus against Jordan. I don't think it is. I just think that is something that works in LeBron's favor for his overall career. But I don't think because he captures that, then we now sit back and say, oh, well, yeah, he's better than Jordan, because we never thought that. You understand? Like, we never thought that was never the measuring stick, right? In terms of winning, Jordan is the best, and also one of the best. And also, if you factor in, because some people want to factor in Jordan's late career, people act like Jordan never played with the Washington Wizards. I don't think that's the safe thing to do. You don't want to start that debate. If you're looking to make a debate against Michael Jordan, I don't think that that's something you want to do, because you're gonna end up in quicksand. Why? Because Michael Jordan, when he came back to play with the Washington Wizards, I believe he came back at the age of 37 years old, the age that LeBron is at right now, I believe so. And I think he finished off his career at 40. Now, what's interesting is that the 2002 Washington Wizards, I believe they had players like Juan Dixon, I think Tyronn Lue, Charles Oakley, Christian Laettner, a few other players. I think Jerry Stackhouse was on that team. A few other players I cannot remember. And that team finished with a 37-45 record, right? There were no top 75 players in sight. But last season, you had the Lakers, and they finished the season and they didn't even make it into the play-in, right? So if you're going to hold that against Jordan, if you want to, you can, whatever. Then you definitely got to hold these latter years against, LeBron against Jordan. And when you think about what a 39, 40-year-old was able to do, and I think both of those seasons he played all 82 games or 80 plus games. It's unheard of. It's unheard of. So to me, I think it's going to be a great achievement for him. But I don't think it's like, okay, yeah, we got some new ammunition. There's none. I don't think it's and I know this bothers a lot of LeBron fans, but I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see the angle you guys can use to make an argument that's sensible. You can't use, him being a better player argument. You can't. There's no argument anybody can use to say he's a better player when you just look at them individually. You can't say that. The results definitely don't support you. You can't say, well, he's a way better winner. You can't even say that, right? And if you really dissect these gentlemen's career closely, you'll quickly realize that it's not close. So these are my thoughts and opinions on this. What I want to know from you guys is, what do you think? Whatever you think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section, and we catch you guys on the next show. Peace.